When I arrived at my sister Emma's wedding, I never imagined it would turn into one of the most humiliating days of my life, or the most unexpected turning point. I was genuinely happy for her. She had always been the golden child, the one who excelled at everything, while I, Daniel, was the quiet, overlooked brother who never seemed to meet our parents' expectations. Still, I wanted to support her. I bought a new suit, brought an expensive gift, and even arrived early to help. But the moment I walked in, I sensed something was off. My mother barely glanced at me, my father gave a forced nod, and my sister, radiant in her gown, smiled stiffly as if I were an acquaintance, not her brother. I brushed it off, thinking it was just pre-wedding nerves. But then, at the reception, I discovered the truth. The seating chart was posted near the entrance, a beautiful floral board with elegant calligraphy. I scanned the names eagerly, expecting to see myself near family. My eyes moved line by line until I found it. Table 14, Daniel Brooks. My stomach dropped. Table 14 was in the far corner, behind a pillar near the catering staff station. Everyone else, family, cousins, and close friends, was seated near the front. For a moment, I thought it was a mistake. I went to my mother. "Mom, I think there's been a mix-up," I said quietly. "My name's all the way in the back." She didn't even look at me. "No mistake, Daniel," she said sharply. "We needed space for guests who actually matter. You'll be fine there." Her words stung more than I expected. I looked toward Emma, who was laughing with her bridesmaids. When she caught my eye, her smile faded briefly, but she said nothing. So I took my lonely seat at table 14. I sat there, pretending not to notice the pitying glances from waiters as couples filled the room, laughter echoing everywhere but my corner. It was humiliating. As I stirred my drink, a voice broke through my thoughts. "Mind if I sit here?" I looked up. A woman in a soft blue dress stood beside me. She was around my age, maybe early 30s, with warm hazel eyes and a kind smile. I blinked. Sure. I think the rest of this table's empty." She sat down gracefully, setting her purse beside her. "Perfect. I hate crowds anyway." I gave a small laugh. "You and me both." She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "By the way, I overheard the seating chart debacle. Pretty cold of them to stick you back here." My cheeks burned. "You saw that." "Everyone did," she said, her tone soft but firm. "Families can be cruel sometimes." I sighed. "Yeah, guess I should be used to it by now." She tilted her head. "I'm Anna, by the way. I'm here with the groom's cousin, but he's busy with the groomsmen right now. So for tonight, you're my plus one." I blinked, confused. "Wait, what?" She smiled mischievously. "Act like you're with me. It'll make them regret putting you here alone." I couldn't help but laugh. "You don't even know me." "Then let's fix that," she said, extending her hand. "Tell me about yourself, Daniel." For the first time that night, I smiled genuinely. As the evening went on, we talked about work, life, books, everything. She was smart, funny, and surprisingly grounded. Every time someone glanced our way, she'd slip her arm through mine or laugh a little louder, making it seem like we were having the best time in the room. And honestly, we were. At one point, my mother passed by. She froze when she saw Anna leaning against me, whispering something that made me chuckle. The shock on her face was priceless. "Who's that?" my sister mouthed from across the room. I just smiled and raised my glass. Hours passed, and what started as an act began to feel real. We danced, laughed, and when dinner was served, Anna made a point of feeding me a bite of dessert while half the room stared. It was petty, but deeply satisfying. As the night wound down, we stepped outside for some air. The moonlight shimmered on the lake beside the venue, and the music played faintly behind us. "Thank you," I said softly, "for saving me from all of that." She smiled. No one deserves to feel small at their own family's event. I hesitated. "Can I ask, why'd you help me?" She shrugged, looking out at the water. Because I know what it's like. My parents did the same to me at my brother's wedding. I swore if I ever saw someone in that position again, I'd make sure they didn't face it alone. Her words hit me deep. I nodded slowly, then smiled. Well, mission accomplished. Good, she said, laughing. Besides, you're kind of cute when you're awkward. I laughed too, genuinely this time. As the night ended, she handed me her number. Call me, Daniel. Maybe next time, we'll go to a wedding where you actually belong at the main table. I promised I would. And I did. We met for coffee a few days later, and one meeting turned into many. Over time, she became more than just the stranger who stood up for me. She became the person who reminded me that I was worth more than how my family treated me. A year later, when Emma visited me to apologize, after finding out I'd stopped attending family gatherings, I simply smiled and told her, "It's okay. I'm happy now." Because I was. The man who once sat alone at a wedding table now had someone who chose him first, not out of pity, but out of genuine care. Sometimes, it takes one stranger's kindness to remind you that you've always deserved better.